Hello, fellow Italian language students! Welcome back to my channel Genius Speaking, where you can learn Italian language for fun and for free. In today's lesson, I want to tackle an important thing to master if you want to sound fluent in Italian language. And it is an important difference between the three main auxiliary verbs: avere, essere, and stare. Italian language has so many quirks and strange things. Which auxiliary verb I should use? I've spoiled that the main auxiliary verbs are essere, avere, and stare. First and foremost, I want to introduce the verb avere, which is the translation for to have. It is really important because to have represents the main auxiliary verb. It precedes the majority of Italian verbs when it comes to make composite tenses. Avere has three main functions. First is to introduce possession, having something. Io ho una macchina rossa. I have a red car. Tu hai un'idea fantastica. Or better, tu hai avuto un'idea fantastica. You use the verb avere to describe possession is present tense, and as auxiliary verb when you tap into past tense. As I said just before, avere is the most used auxiliary verb because it accompanies transitive verbs, meaning verbs that transit the action to the direct objects. Io ho mangiato la pizza. I ate the pizza. Tu hai letto il libro. You read the book. But pay attention because avere can be used also to express physical feelings. Io ho fame. I'm hungry. See the difference? In English language, you use the verb to be to describe my state, my feeling of being hungry. However, in Italian language, you do the opposite. You use the verb to have, avere, because in the matter of way, you can say that you have, that you possess a sensation, a feeling. Io ho fame. Io ho sonno. I am sleepy. Io ho freddo. I'm cold. Second verb is to be, of course. Essere. Essere has three main functions. Its first is to describe the attribute of a person and objects. Io sono un insegnante. I'm a teacher. But you can also use essere to describe attributes of things. La casa è grande. The house is big. Essere also it is used when you're talking about places, when you are describing where someone or something is located. Noi siamo a Milano. We are in Milan. Or il libro è sul tavolo. The book is on the table. And of course, essere can be used as avere to form compound tenses. It is used before verbs that express movements, like andare, venire, partire. Io sono andato a Roma. In this case, I'm using passato prossimo. Io sono andato where? I went to Rome. Io sono venuto a Milano. I've come to Milan. Io sono partito per il Giappone. I left for Japan. Also, you must use essere before verbs that are describing staying in a place. So not only movement, but also staying. Io sono rimasto a casa. I've stayed at home. Also, reflexive verbs. So when the action goes back on the subjects, you must use verb essere. Io mi sono lavato. I washed myself. Mi sono, me. Third verb is stare. It means to stay. It's the exact translation of to stay. And it is not a proper auxiliary verb because the main auxiliary verbs are to, essere, and avere. However, in my opinion, it is worth to understand and learn the usage of stare The most common function of stare can be found when we are talking about personal condition and health. Come stai? Io sto bene. How are you? How do you do? I am fine. In English language, you use the verb to be, of course, to describe feeling, sensation. But in Italian language, when it comes to describe our personal state and health, is often used the expression io sto bene, io sto male, I'm fine, I'm not fine. That's why it is important to use the verb stare, sto, where stare does not sustain a verb, however, it sustains the rest of the sentence. But stare, it is very crucial when you are describing ongoing action. Often, stare plus gerundio is the main form we use in Italian language to describe ongoing actions. Cosa stai facendo? What are you doing? Facendo is the gerundio of fare, and stai supports the verb. Io sto registrando un video. I am recording a video. So, a brief sum up. Avere is your bread and butter because it is used with transitive verbs that make the majority of Italian verbs. And also it identifies the action of having, possessing. To be essere for describing identities, properties, and all the verbs of motion from place and verbs of staying in a place. Stare, it is a peculiar case scenario. It is only used to support the rest of the complements or another verb in the case of describing health conditions or coupled with gerundio to describe ongoing actions. Ladies and gentlemen, class is dismissed. If this lesson has been useful to learn more about Italian language, please help my work. Subscribe to my channel, smash the like button, and go down in the description to tap into the wonderful application L'Atudio, an important application that I use constantly to improve my language skills. And with my code, you can have 33 days. In the meantime, that you watch other videos and you subscribe to my channel, please speak like a genius. Bye bye.